The Marine Corps is stepping up training in Japan for island-based conflict in the Western Pacific. This comes as the U.S. military is preparing to counter the Chinese military, which is narrowing the gap with the deployment of sophisticated military satellites, cyber warfare, and artificial intelligence. The drill saw a few dozen Marines touching down in two CH-47 Chinook helicopters, followed by Japanese soldiers arriving in two Osprey tilt-rotor aircraft. The mission simulated discreetly recapturing a port on an island inside the range of the enemy's missiles and artillery. The emphasis is also on increased interoperability of the U.S. and Japanese forces. This video is sponsored by War Thunder, the most comprehensive military vehicle online game for PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One, in which you can go to battle on more than 1,200 playable aircraft, tanks, helicopters, and ships from the 1930s to the 1990s. The game has an amazing attention to detail and focuses on a realistic combat experience, which is why knowing your vehicles and skill really makes a difference. It's easy to get into, and all you need to play is nothing more but your mouse and keyboard or controller. Immerse yourself in cross-platform combat with more than 20 million other military vehicle enthusiasts from all over the world. Download and play War Thunder for free using the link in the description below, and also get a free bonus tank, aircraft, or ship, and 3 days of premium account. The Chinese People's Liberation Army (PLA) Air Force has provided a glimpse of the design of its next-generation strategic bomber. This was showcased in a recruitment video released on January 5th. A computer-generated image of what appears to be a large stealth bomber entered the stage in the last moments of the video. Only the front outline is initially visible, since most of the body is covered in a white blanket. The blanket is then taken off, with the design teased in an unclear reflection in the goggles of a pilot's helmet from a side view. From the impression, it seems like a flying wing design and a larger version of GJ-11 stealthy attack drone, which is already in PLA service. Reports suggest that the H-20 will be the first in Chinese service with an intercontinental range. The aircraft is expected to make its public appearance before the end of 2022. Indian Ministry of External Affairs (MEA) has stated that India has always pursued an independent foreign policy that also applies to its defense acquisitions and supplies. This comes days after a U.S. congressional report warned that New Delhi's purchase of the Russian-made S-400 air defense system may trigger American sanctions. Asked how does the MEA react to recent observations by U.S. Ambassador to India Ken Juster and a U.S. congressional report on the possibility of sanctions over India's purchase of the S-400 missile defense system, MEA spokesperson Anurag Srivastava at an online media briefing stated that India and the U.S. have a comprehensive global strategic partnership. He said, "India has a special and privileged strategic partnership with Russia. India has always pursued an independent foreign policy," and added that this also applies to our defense acquisitions and supplies, which are guided by our national security interests. Viewers may note that Turkey has faced sanctions after it acquired S-400 from Russia. A video clip shows that Iran has fired its Azarakh missile from an unmanned aerial vehicle during a recent drone-based wargame. Azarakh is thought to be a combination of anti-tank and short-range surface-to-air weapons. Images taken during the maneuvers shows one of the missiles being launched from under the belly of a Karar drone after the latter took off from a truck-mounted launcher. As per the report from Iran's semi-official Mehr news agency, the Karar interceptor drone, operated by the Islamic Republic of Iran's Air Defense Force, used the Azarakh to destroy aerial targets during the second day of the exercise. Karar is a jet-powered target drone manufactured by Iran Aircraft Manufacturer Industrial Company (HESA) since 2010. The Karar is a derivative of the American 1970s-era Beechcraft MQM-107 Streaker target drone and has reportedly incorporated elements from the South African SCUA, with hardpoints added for munitions. In a setback for the Lockheed Martin F-35 stealth fighter program, U.S. Department of Defense has put full-rate production of the jet on indefinite hold. The latest hiccup in the F-35 program is because of delays in operational testing. It's to be noted that the F-35 needs to prove itself in these trials in order to complete the initial operational test and evaluation (IOT&E) phase and kickstart the full-rate production review. Though more than 600 F-35s have been manufactured so far by the Joint Strike Fighter Enterprise, including 123 being delivered in 2020, completion of the IOT&E is a formal requirement before the formal launch of full-rate production. Iranian Navy has unveiled a missile base on the shores of the Persian Gulf in the presence of the Commander-in-Chief of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps of Iran, Major General Hossein Salami. Salami said the new base is one of the IRGC bases housing the IRGC Navy's strategic missiles. The IRGC Commander-in-Chief stated, "These missiles, with a range of hundreds of kilometers, with a very high destructive power, are capable of passing through the enemy's electronic warfare." He added that IRGC's naval missiles are among the most advanced missiles in coast-to-sea, surface-to-sea, and sea-to-sea battles. The U.S. Navy is expected to release a request for proposals to field a new torpedo this month. The weapon will be the first completely new torpedo since the 1990s. This will be taken forward through the Compact Rapid Attack Weapon (CRAW) program. The program will seek to find a manufacturer for the prototype of a lightweight torpedo developed at Pennsylvania State University's Applied Research Laboratory. Northrop Grumman has announced that it will enter the CRAW program. Dave Allen, Director of Business Development at Northrop Grumman Mission Systems, said, "This is a really interesting weapon, and with advanced electronics and advanced computing, it's going to make it extremely effective." With an eye on China and the future of warfare, Japan has begun to develop a remote-controlled fighter aircraft that will be ready for deployment in 2035. Nikkei Asia is reporting that the 15-year project has acquired urgency to counter China's cascading advancement of high-tech weaponry. Japan's defense ministry plans to introduce fighter drones in 3 stages. First, those that are remote-controlled, then teaming operations, where one manned plane would control several drones, and ultimately for use in completely unmanned and autonomous squadrons. Multiple Japanese corporations like Subaru, Mitsubishi Heavy Industries will be working on this project. Japanese players could partner with the US and British companies as well, the Daily said. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this. Hit the like button if you find the video interesting, and kindly provide your feedback in the comment section. This will help us improve.